2024 is an important year politically. One, India goes to elections, and so do 40 other countries at least, which means you will hear a lot about changing government or continued leadership, or worse, in some countries, violent incidents as well ahead of elections. But either way, these elections in these nations are not in isolation. In an era of globalization for India, some of these election results will decide political alliances and thereby a bilateral relationship as well, and that will be specifically in our immediate neighborhood. The year started with our neighbor Bangladesh's elections that witnessed an unusual amount of interest coming in from the United States of America toward the opposition parties. There were reports of violence and protests also ahead of elections in Bangladesh. Eventually, Sheikh Hasina won. She's been a friend of India for years now. This will be her 5th term as a president. So for now, India does not have a cause of concern as much. It was then followed thereafter with our another neighbor, Bhutan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 9th January congratulated Tshering Tobgay from the People's Democratic Party for winning the parliamentary elections in Bhutan. This is the second time that Tshering Tobgay will be taking over as the Prime Minister's position, shares cordial relationship with India and specifically with Prime Minister Modi, and interestingly had said in 2022 that India-Bhutan relationship is a role model relationship that other countries can follow. So while India and the Himalayan kingdom enjoy cordial relationship and stability, regional challenges have tested the friendship too. But for now, it looks like the cooperation will continue. In February, however, comes Pakistan, our dearest neighbor. Political turmoil has postponed the elections. It's clearly overdue there, and it's not going to be easy. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan is in jail. The country grapples with the post-Imran era. The survival, specifically of the Tehreek-e-Insaf party, is at stake. Then there are economic challenges, questions of stability of this nuclear-armed nation, and then the re-entry of Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, PMLN. Nawaz Sharif has returned, and with a renewed perspective, very interestingly, how he's acknowledging India's growth, landing on the moon, for example, while Pakistan struggles. Anyway, whoever wins in Pakistan, India will have to be extremely cautious because we remember by experience that most control in political establishment in Pakistan is of Pakistan military and ISI. Taiwan elections are scheduled for mid-January. President Tsai Ing-wen completes her term, and the outcome decides relationship now with China, thereby with India and the Asia-Pacific region. India has, in the past few years, promoted engagement with Taiwan. Taipei Economic and Cultural Center is being built in Mumbai. India's policy has been clear, according to the MEA spokesperson, which is to build on trade, investment and people-to-people exchanges with Taiwan, especially to corner China. Now a big one, Russia-Ukraine, the two countries that continue to be engulfed in war. Both Russia and Ukraine enter the presidential election season in the month of March, and with differing dates. Now India is friendly to both countries, especially even with their current leaders, Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, Vladimir Putin of Russia. India has emphasized all this while on peace. It has maintained a distant, objective side on this war. Putin especially remains the curious case here. He has announced the candidacy for the 5th term, and observers say it's very unlikely if he will lose elections. So if Narendra Modi returns for India and so does Putin for Russia, this equation will remain the same and possibly build ahead. What remains as the big question is, will the war end between the two countries? Then there are also Mexico, Belgium, El Salvador, Indonesia, with which India shares a strong cultural historic connect. So is South Africa and many other countries. I will conclude with the most important nation in world politics, the United States of America. The USA faces the spotlight by November. So as the year ends, we will know if it will be a rerun for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. India has been friendly with the United States of America, but has also maintained caution. It has also reflected individual relationship between the serving top leaders. There is Prime Minister Modi and President Trump, who were great friends, while with President Biden, it was a step up in connection since the official state dinner. Even going back earlier between President Barack Obama and Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, there have been individual relationships that have reflected in international diplomacy too. So who becomes the new president of the big superpower of the world will also possibly decide how alliance with India moves ahead. Remember that India is aiming to become the third largest economy. It has become more independent of foreign policy decisions in the past 2 to 3 years and may as well be, sooner than later, become one of the powers in the world too. A good friendship between USA and India will mean best for both nations. 2024 is a reminder that change is the only constant. Politicians will come and go, but each one of them in leadership position decide the direction their country may take for that decade. Welfare for not just their own people, but milestones for international connections too. Last few years have witnessed populism, domestic interest and nationalism for most winning candidates across the world. So thereby it also reflects the worldview that stands at present. So keep an eye out for each of these elections because their victory will lay relationship and alliances with India and possibly thereafter stability of the world in future. Thank you for watching.